Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Real Estate Confessions, where real estate, cultura, and generational wealth collide. We are three real estate agents spilling the tea, closing deals, and confessing everything. Yes, you heard that right. Everything. From wild client stories to wealth building wins, we are here to confess. So let's get to it. My name is Esme.
My name is Nayeli.
And I'm Rosalind.
And today we're going to talk about our first ever deal. Crazy. So, do you want to start us off, Nayeli? I feel like you got the craziest.
You got some good stories for
Yeah,
sure.
you got
You
the
want me to
best
do a crazy
stories.
one, or you want me to do my first one?
No, just your first deal.
My first,
But
okay.
I feel like all your deals are a little bit crazy.
Yeah. So my first transaction was actually in the south side of Chicago. I had somebody who called me and said, hey, do you want to lead for X amount? And I said, sure. I didn't know anything about anything, and I thought that, it was a good lead. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I actually just showed up, and I started showing the lady houses, okay? So I didn't have a mentor or anything. I just went like, and so I started showing her houses, and actually we went under contract within like 2 days of me.
wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was pretty good. I was fast. So I send all the documents to the lender, and I'm like, here you go. We're under contract. I do the earnest money. Everything's going along. 3 weeks into the transaction, my client calls me and says, hey, I haven't heard from the lender. And I'm like, what do you mean?
You went MIA?
And she's like, yeah, I haven't heard from them. And I'm like, you know what? And I'm like, I figured that, because they sent me the lead that they were on their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I called the lender. I'm like, hey, what's going on with this transaction? We're in a contract. And he's like, oh, you know what? We can't do it.
What?
Yeah. They said
Already under contract?
already under contract. We already put it.
Closing day?
It was like in a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We had earnest money in. So I said, what do you mean? And he said, yeah, we can't do it. And I'm like, well, I need you to send me denial letter so my client can get their money back. But I felt so bad for this lady because this was going to be her first home. She's been a renter forever. And so I saw somebody on my Facebook who said they could close in like 3 weeks. So I called this guy and I'm like, hey, I have this really tough transaction. You said you're really good. I want you to show me how good you are. He said, okay, bet. So, gets the application going, calls me back. Hey, this is a really tough transaction. Why are you under contract? Because this person I think they had a bankruptcy in their file.
Didn't even
So
qualify then.
so she didn't really qualify, but somehow or another, it was like within the time frame that she was going to be able to qualify in the following week. He's like, I need you to get an extension, and we are going to have to figure it out. As long as you can get me an extension. So I called the real estate agent. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Can you please give us an extension?
Yeah.
And then she said, okay, you know what? They kind of did give us a little bit of pushback because this was a flip and they wanted their money right away. So I was like, okay, cool. So, I think we ended up prolonging it for like 3 more weeks to a month, and she was able to figure it out. But it was so lucky that I was able to save it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on. So
There's
we're
more.
finally we have a
There's
clear to
more.
close. We have a clear to close, and I'm like, okay, first transaction, yes. We go do the walkthrough. So for whatever reason, I usually like to do the walkthrough like the day of, but I think we needed it. I don't know why. I don't remember if it was her schedule or my schedule, where we did it a week before actual closing. So I went, and we go in there, and there's a bunch of water. Actually, it's flooded. The basement's not completely flooded, but in one corner is a ton of water coming in.
Oh no.
Like at your walkthrough?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
So it had
wrong.
rained the previous
night
day.
before,
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't even really know what to say. And she was like, well, like, what are we going to do? This is her first transaction. This is my first transaction. And I'm like, oh, man. So I talked to my attorney, and it's like, well, we can ask for credits. We can ask for mediation. Obviously, my client is like, okay, well, I'd be willing to take some credits.
But no salió nothing in the inspection tampoco?
Well, no, because that wouldn't happen. Like, that wouldn't show up in the inspection because it hadn't happened. Right? So they wouldn't-
Was the property like on a flood zone?
no.
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 Damn.
No.
They just
And
had
it
a,
still got flooded.
Yeah, it had water in there.
Oh snap!
So So we were able to figure out like a post-closing credit, and then we ended up closing. And then so I referred her to somebody who did what is that,
Rehab?
no, they do what is it called,
Like
waterproofing.
floodproofing? Yeah.
Waterproofing. They did waterproofing. The guy came in, he's like, yeah, it's actually not a big deal, it's just like waterproofing, that's all you need.
Okay.
Like that's what wasn't going on, and because it wasn't terrible, it wasn't like a flood, but it was water in there, and we were able to close, and then that was my first transaction.
So did she know it was your also first transaction?
I did not disclose it because I didn't even know we should disclose it. I don't really know how people like, and I've bought plenty of homes before, like before her.
Yeah,
I bought my own. I bought like 3 or 4 personal homes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I felt comfortable enough, and I had my attorney. Obviously, like I trust my attorney with my life, and obviously the lender, I did trust him. I was like, well, like, and this was I think like 2020. When all the crazy was going on.
COVID.
So he still made it happen, and I was super impressed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Causing you stress.
Yeah.
Your deals causing you stress.
Yeah, but once I saw that paycheck, I was like, what?
Worth
I was
it.
like, people make this much money? I was like, wow, this is really nice. Yeah. So that was that.
What about you, Rosalind? How was your first transaction? How did you handle everything? Because I know before you started being a real estate agent, you closed on your home, and it was a complete, like...
It was a disaster, yeah.
Yeah.
We were searching for, like, a super long time. Finally found something that we, like, loved. It was in Rogers Park, a 2-unit, perfect. We could have rented to Loyola students. I loved it so much. You were, like, walking distance from the beach.
Wow.
I was, like, tied to this 2-unit. And everything, like, went perfectly. Inspection, everything was fine. I'm amazed that we like qualified in that price range too, in that area. Even our broker at the time was like, damn, like this is a great deal. If you would have found it, I would have offered, right?
Yeah.
And now I still track it to see if it has sold.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did they fuck me over? But no, it hasn't sold still. But they pretty much waited us out. There was like work to do. We went to closing and everything. The title company held it up because the water bills were like together. It was a 2-unit, but it was like touching another 2-unit, or like a 6, I don't know, but it was sold as just that, and the water bills happened to be together. So title company was like, we won't do it. We had 2 closings, and both of the times they were like, we won't do it till water is fully separate, just in case like somebody doesn't pay theirs, you're not stuck with it. But we were like trying everything.
Wow.
And our attorney was trash. She still billed me and shit. I didn't pay her.
Wait, your attorney still charged you?
Yeah. She was like, for our work or whatever. I was like, we didn't even close. Like, what do you mean?
Oh my God.
So I never paid her.
mean.
Sorry. Pay your attorneys. But yeah. And so we ended up, we weren't supposed to go under contract with other ones, but we did go under contract with other ones just because we were like, we still really wanted it. And then finally, once under contract moved forward with other ones, we dropped it. But it was so sad. I still want it till this day.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
they were causing pushback, and you guys were kind of tired of it.
Well, they just didn't want to do the seller said that they'd like, it was probably like over 15 grand
In repairs.
to separate it with the city of Chicago. And I remember going to the city of Chicago and like seeing if any permits were pulled or anything. Nada.
Wow.
Nothing. They were literally waiting for us to drop so they could
Wow.
continue renting. And it's like a big landlord. They were Latinos too. There was a big landlord in the area. And then like a couple years later, they sold something else by there. And I was like, should we? But at that point, I was like so done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Did you get your earnest money back?
We did. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But it was a shit show a little bit.
Oh my God. So do you think your agent had anything to do with this or what? How long was the process?
So we were working with them probably over a year. Searching.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I remember sending them a couple things. I don't think they were like on page with us. So we ended up not working with them anymore. And that's kind of part of why I got my license. Like I could do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember telling her like, oh, we're looking for this. And I know you gotta let people know like the market isn't there or whatever, but she was like, there's no way. And I was like, but I see like listings like this, right? Okay. We technically started with the guy that was like a veteran guy. He worked with veterans. And then his sister like worked
Took
with
over.
us. Yeah. And and she was just starting.
Were they
she
like
was
a
sweet.
team?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes
Okay,
sense.
Yeah.
But they were both really sweet, and they did like the following up that KW does and stuff. I don't know if we can.
Yeah.
But we were just done with them. We're like, we're gonna move on. At that
Yeah.
point, we just like, you know how you could book stuff on Zillow for
Yeah.
showings and stuff. We would do that for a while and like not be exclusive to anyone. We were dating all the realtors.
Yeah. Wow.
And now, and you closed on your home now that you have.
Yeah, we still use them to close technically, but
No,
Yeah.
honey, you use us now. Our attorneys,
Yeah.
well,
our
for
team.
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we'll just wing it ourselves, but
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I would have been so mad for a year. That's a long time because
Yeah.
you could have. Well, I mean, I guess if you guys were making offers and other things, then that's okay.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, I'd be so mad. Especially
Yeah.
that when did you buy it? What year?
that was 2021, and it was
Oh, so
like
that's when the interest rate was, like-
December. Yeah, we still locked in a 3,
Dang.
so we're never selling that house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, everything worked out. We didn't take anything to closing. We got like $8,000 back.
Yeah.
So we're like, we need to do this more
That's
often.
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
It was like, even though at first it was a shit show, it ended
Yeah.
up being a win for you guys.
yeah. And initially, I feel like I tried to milk everything. Like, we dated a bunch of lenders to see who gave us the best rate and compared them. We straight up told them like, hey, this one's offering me this. What can you do? Some of them were like, I'll match you there, or yeah, I can't pull that string. And so
Yeah.
we ended up going with the best one. And yeah, towards the end, I was like, así como salga.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted
You
to
wanna
go
get
through.
close,
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
And
Yeah.
I feel like our listeners should also take that into account. Like, even though we're referring you to like our best lenders and our best attorneys, check out your options.
Yeah.
Because, like, if someone is giving you a better rate, and
Yeah.
even though I love my preferred loan officer, like, you got to do what's best for you.
Correct,
And I'm
yeah.
always going to be on your best interest.
Yeah.
So if someone can give you more than what I'm offering,
Go
by all
for
means,
it.
let's go that route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate the lenders that are like, if you're with me, you're with me for life. And like, don't date other ones. If I see another contingency of a loan, like, I'll drop you. Like, if you're not, dude, at the end of the day, it's my money, right? Like, I should have like power over that.
Or
And if
it's
you
your
can't meet me
client's
there.
choice. You know,
Yeah.
you can't force your clients. You
Mhm.
know, you can advise them, like, give them the options.
Yeah.
But like, you can't steer them.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
legally we can't do that, and we don't do that over here, guys.
I mean, I think it depends. For me, I really, because there's so many lenders, like, and when, okay, so that's the thing about it. A lot of lenders are going to say, hey, we're going to give you a 2% interest rate. And then you go and you look, and it's actually regular interest rate, but they're charging you for like to buy down the rate.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why when people are like, oh, I want to shop for the best interest rate, I'm like, okay, what are they giving you?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these big companies do that.
They just
Where
move
they'll be
around
like,
the
oh,
numbers.
yeah, you know, because it's a clickbait.
Yeah.
It's just a way for you to get you to apply. So, you know, I'm super hesitant about working with like big national banks that are banks, not mortgage companies. And I'm hesitant with those like ones that are if they sound too good to be true, they usually
Probably
are.
is.
So I usually say, hey, you know, and you know, it's because another thing, some people are so indecisive that they will never stop looking for interest rate. They will never. They'll be like, oh my God, I can't. Blah. And it's like, you have to decide. Like, you can't, because what's happened to some people, they're like, okay, I'm going to wait for the lowest rate. The interest rate goes higher.
Yeah. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, because you
We're
have to
never
lock
gonna
it
see
in.
that
You have to
again.
lock it in. And I
Yeah.
think that's like, you know, I think I was just talking to Esme on the way here. Like, I think the most important thing is getting a house. That is your goal. Should be the most important goal, is because you're building generational wealth. You're building something that you can leave for your kids. And I think that's the most important thing, especially right now in this market, because if you're under contract like that, literally just close because you can always refinance.
Yeah. The house will never be perfect. You will
Yeah.
have to do your
Yeah.
personal touches to
Yeah.
it. I know you had a buyer that, or like someone that was looking to sell or buy, that didn't want to work with lenders. They wanted to work with the bank only. Like,
Yes, and
But-
we got him closed.
Oh.
So he checked up his options.
uh-huh.
He still liked the bank better. And I actually did this deal with Nayeli. And now he has his home. He loves his monthly payment, which at the end, that's like
The
what
goal.
we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it ended up being a great story for him.
Yeah.
So good for him.
What about your first transaction, Esme?
my first transaction, ooh, it was my family. I'm so sorry, Michelle.
No. Wait. Okay. Go ahead.
So it was my first transaction. I came into real estate hungry because my family needed a buy. Like, my sister needed a buy before the end of January. And I had just gotten my license in October. I didn't know nothing of nothing. So I spent October and November just going to classes, getting myself educated, because I obviously want to represent my sister properly. And thankfully, like, with the company that I was at, like, I had a coach, I had my mentor, and still on top of that, like, my managing broker. So we went through the process. I sat with her like an actual client. I was like, I'm gonna give you my whole like spiel and like my whole process. And thankfully she was up for it. You know, she kind of looked at me like up and down, like, you really, bitch, you really doing this.
It's good practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I got with her, we got her pre-approval, and we started our home search. Her home that she owns, I still remember we went to go look at it, and she's like, hell no. This is not gonna be my house. And her husband at the time, he was like, no, like, this is a great home, like, just look at it. And it was kind of dark as well. So like, they looked at the house, but we couldn't really see the house. So I sent them all the Google images, and I'm like, look, it's a beautiful home, like, I really see the potential.
Sunlight.
Yeah.
And so, like, we ran her numbers, we gave her everything, and yeah, we ended up submitting an offer. It was a multiple offer situation, and we ended up winning it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks to my coach.
Yeah.
But the reason why we won was because we waived. It's well and septic. So we
Those need
waived
extra
the
inspections.
well and septic.
Oof.
And I, at that time, I didn't really know any better.
Yeah.
So, like, for the most part, everything went by really smooth. Like, there was a few problems with FHA, but nothing that couldn't be solved. So we ended up closing, and my sister tells me, hey, there's something wrong with, like, the well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Because that's pricey.
Yeah, so they came and, like, quoted her and everything. It was like a $5,000
Damn.
Wow.
Job.
Yeah.
repair, and I felt so bad, so I gave her half of that money.
Oh my God, did
Damn.
you really? That is so nice of you.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, because I felt like it was like
Kinda
my
your-
fault in a way, you know. So, and now I know for all my future buyers, if it's on well and septic, we'll ask for that.
Yeah, for the
inspection to be
inspection.
done.
Yeah.
No, but like, apart from it being a learning experience, like, I felt like I had to give her that money, because it was like, you know, it's your first home, and
Just give you a
obviously you
shot.
want your first home to be like almost perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like my shit show story.
Oh my
Damn.
goodness.
Side note, do you guys always do the plumbing, the scope?
It depends. It depends. I give it to my clients as an option. Like, hey, this is the thing. If the inspection says that it looks like there's some drainage problems, then we'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, I heard that it's probably a really good practice, especially if you have a tree in front of your house. Because the roots. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I actually have a client who, he bought in West Chicago. He wanted it because there was a bunch of like really big trees in front of the house, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, I was like, I feel like this could be like plumbing, you know. It's like, no. He was like, I actually told him, I asked him not to buy that house, and he was like, well, I want it.
Damn.
It's like, okay, actually, I just talked to him the other day, and he said, Nayeli, I should have listened to you. This was a terrible idea. And I was like, yeah, you should have. But you live and you learn. And so I don't know if maybe he's going to buy it. He's going to sell it soon because, yeah. And this is something that we have to disclose because we know.
But it was
it's a
because
material
the plumbing?
defect. Yeah, because there's trees there.
Oh,
The roots keep getting into the plumbing
damn.
and then into the sewer.
Oh, okay.
So then that's why it keeps backing up.
And like, there's really no solution for that.
I mean,
feel like, is there?
he fixed it. He
What
came
do
in.
you
He got
go do?
it. But
Kill the little trees.
I think he should. I think he should cut those trees off. That's the best solution because then you're not gonna have any roots.
I'm like the Lorax. I want to keep all the trees.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But I mean, in that case, like he can't because
Yeah.
It's like conflicting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to be really careful.
So I guess to our buyers is like, be
Like,
cautious.
I think don't be a cheap ass.
Uh-huh.
So that's the thing. Like, I think some people are like, oh, well, because the sewer goes probably like $350. Some people are like, 350 plus 350. That's like $700. You know, like, it's better to know now than like, because if there's plumbing that's damaged between your house and the
Neighbors.
the city,
Mm.
you're responsible for that. So it could be like a $12,000 repair cost. Like, it could, like, this is like a huge issue. Like, and that's the thing. Some people, like, you have to, as an agent, our job is to make sure that people are informed. Like, if you don't want to pay for it, hey, you know what, that's cool, but don't come call me later and say, hey, this happened, and it's your fault, you sold me a faulty house. Like, like, this is something that's what our job is, just to inform them, and if they want to do it, then they can. But it's just like, if it's a house you want, like, say $1,000, it seems like a lot of money, but long term, it's an investment, and it's actually like that sometimes can come back, because it pays itself back. Because say you save that money, you can tell the owner, hey, this is going on, you're gonna have an issue with another buyer. So I'm willing to take that responsibility, because now I know of it, but I would like some credits, or I would like you to fix it, or we could figure something out, and it's bargaining tool.
Yeah. But then again, it's also like kind of like you said, doing your due diligence to explaining that to your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough because, look, when you go to see a house, you walk in 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, right? Some people like what, but you literally see it once, maybe twice. You go again an inspection, maybe a couple hours, right? If they show up. If your client doesn't show up, then you're there, and they saw this house for 15 minutes. And I think a lot of buyers, they just look and they're like, oh, it's so pretty. They, like, you look at somebody, a guy who's handsome, or a girl who's pretty, like, oh, they're so pretty, but you don't know on the inside. You don't know on the inside if they're a little rotten. So you really have to do your homework. You have to do it with homes and with people.
So to all our buyers out there, please
Get those inspections.
Get a home inspection, because in the report it will give you all the details of the house, not just because like Nayeli said, not just because it looks pretty from the outside, it doesn't mean it has like some dirty work in the inside. I could have probably said that better too, but it's okay.
Now I'm thinking, like, that inspector that I used, how is it not a red flag to him?
What?
That the water was together.
I think that's something that the listing agent should have disclosed. That would be that actually would be the seller and the listing agent's responsibility. That's something that they should have known, and that should be been disclosed up front, because that listing agent should have known that was going to be a title issue.
Yeah,
that's always going to be an issue. So again, who knows if it was their first listing, right? Maybe they didn't know, but which is a little scary. And that's the thing. That's why, when people are trying to sell their house, they should interview at least 3 agents. Hey, how much, how much do you know? What do you know? Because sometimes maybe you don't have a lot of, like, maybe you've been an agent for a year, but for example, you were managing your family's property. So you know a thing or two about a thing or two, right? So you know about the repairs, how much stuff costs. So, that's something to think about. Like, hey, maybe they're newer, they don't have a lot of experience, but what other experience do you have that's going to help me make a good decision?
Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies, moving on to our next segment. We are real estate confessions. So we're about to confess. So I know we just talked about our first deal, but what about, like, your first showing? How was your first showing? Did anything weird happen? Or have you guys ever had a weird showing?
So my first showing was, like, uneventful.
My first showing, I couldn't open the lockbox. I just kept looking at my sister, and I'm like, oh my god. And then our second showing, I let the dog out.
Oh my goodness, Esme.
Losing dogs.
That was not my fault. The listing agent put on the listing that the home was vacant. Me thinking the home was vacant. This was also my red flag. We get to the home. I see people inside. I'm like, weird. I knock first. Nobody answered the door. I legally I could go in because I have my showing time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm over here. I open the lockbox. I get the key. I'm like excited to open the door. I open the door. Boom! El perro se sale. Yeah.
Damn.
And the owner is just looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just like,
Get your dog.
Your dog.
And what they saying?
So I'm like, I have a showing time. I was like, I'm sorry about your dog. Like, because
You
I
didn't
was
run
in
after
shock,
it?
right? And then my sister's just kind of looking at me with her mouth open, like, what the fuck just happened? So the owner gets his dog. I'm like, is it okay if we view the home? And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, go, like, do whatever you have to do. I'll be right back. And he went to go get his dog.
Oh, that's nice.
You lost Firulais.
Yeah, but that was like my second showing, and I was just like, damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had anything too crazy. I think as soon as I got my license, I just went to tour a bunch of places. I got to see one that I'm pretty sure was haunted. Like, you just get a vibe
How
as
do
soon
you
as you walk in.
know?
It was a beautiful house. It was in Maywood on like Fifth Ave, and it was like a historic house, and it was way cheaper than it should have been.
Yeah.
And you walk in. I'm a sucker for like all the character and like all that. It was like very detailed woodwork, arches, beautiful house. But you just, I don't know, it was like an eerie feeling as you walk in. And downstairs they had like a metal door that led to like a shower room to like a sauna. Like,
Oh my god, that's weird.
yeah, it like didn't make sense. And I posted it, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh my god, where?" Because it was super cheap, huge ass house. And I would like send them the address so they would see it. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure some shit happened in here. Like,
That's crazy. Actually, one of I'll tell you a little bit about like some crazy showings that I had. So we had this seller. He was some kind of priest or some kind of like, you know, people who's religious or whatever. I don't know what you want to call him. But he's a kind of priest, and he was showing us around. He took us to show. He wanted to personally be there to show us his property. Right, my client was gonna buy. So we go in, and you know, we're just walking around. We walk into this room. There's like a big pink dildo sitting up in this guy's room, and I'm looking at my client. My client's like, they're just talking. The little
even notice.
The little priest. He's like an older guy. He's just like, he's just doing his tour. I'm sure he probably didn't even. I hope. Well, he didn't even blink. He didn't even like. You know, he didn't even, because for me, I was like I stopped, right, and then you know, it's just sitting there, just okay. I'm like, oh, okay, and you know, I don't think he noticed it. And I was like, oh, he's so sweet, because he literally, or if he did notice it, he just didn't say a word, and he just didn't skip a beat. He just kept going like nothing.
I don't know. How would you miss a pink dildo?
It was cute. It was bright pink, and it was just sitting on there, and I was like, and you know what? Maybe I'm just, because I just like, it just popped out at me because it was a different color. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Made a comment.
Is that what it is? But then me too. And then I was like, because I couldn't believe it. My mind couldn't believe that it was just. But then, you know, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, people do stuff. You know. And then I had another showing with the scary stuff. So I like to buy properties, and I usually like to buy beat up properties. Went to this house in Aurora. And I usually would take my little brother and my dad. I would always bring somebody with me because, you know, I just, whatever, Mexican thing. So I brought my dad and my brother. So we go and we look at the house. So we're looking upstairs. My little brother goes downstairs. He comes running inside. He's like, let's go. You're not buying that house. And I said, what? What do you mean? He said, I was in the basement. He's like, I went in the basement. And I went with my iPhone, and I went into this room, and my light shut off. Like, we're leaving right now. And I'm like, you're crazy. This is a cheap ass. The house was like $90,000. I was like, you know what? I was like,
I'll get along with
I was like, I think we'll be okay. So sure enough, we go downstairs. Downstairs is what something that looks almost like it almost looked like a prison cell. It didn't have any windows. Shit. And I want to say there was like even a chain there. And then I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and we left. Actually, you know what? I have a friend who bought that house, and I did ask him about it. And I'm like, you know, is that house haunted? He supposedly said no. He supposedly said no, but you know, whatever. Like,
for that price,
your
buddies with the ghost.
Yeah, it was a big house.
You stay in your room.
I'm with Rosalind. Like, I'm a vibes. Like off the bat, like when I walk into a house, I know like the good energy or the bad energy.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was at a showing in Elgin. As soon as I walked in, I'm like,
let's head out.
My clients still weren't there, but I like to do my due diligence. If I get there early, like open all the doors and everything, so it's easier for them to look at it. I did not go to the basement. No way. Like, I didn't even go upstairs. It was just like it was really intense. And when my clients got there, I'm like, feel free to go look at the house.
I'm gonna wait outside.
Right here. I was on the front porch because, like, sientes la energía.
Really?
Well, at least for me.
Yeah.
You feel the energy like right away, and I feel it on my skin too. Like, mi piel se pone chinita.
Yeah.
My
God, that's
it
crazy.
was like that bad. Yeah.
I actually have a friend. She didn't use me as her agent. Whatever. I forgive you. But she bought a house, right? And, you know, everybody was excited. We were all excited for her. She bought a house in Aurora. And then there was this girl, because she was like, oh, you know, just bought my first house or something on Facebook. This girl, one of our friends, comments on there like, oh, well, good luck sleeping with a ghost or something. Like, I guess this guy had killed his wife in that house. And my friend didn't know about it until this girl went and posted it on her Facebook. Was like, oh, good luck with the ghost. You know, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, she was upset reasonably, because it was like, I mean, you could have like told me like, you know, personal, you know, like you could have like gone about it a different way. And it sounded, it looked like a hater
Not, like,
type of
public,
like vibe, you know. And I've asked her about it. You know, we had Friendsgiving there, and I was like, we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I mean, I think it's been
Palo
fine.
Santo
You know, maybe
like
she did. I don't know. But my friend's been fine. So I mean, like, I guess it's okay, you know, or whatever. I think she would have said something, but you know, it was just like one of those situations where like she's like, well, you know, my agent didn't say anything. Yeah. And as agents, if we don't know, like if we know, we disclose it. But if we don't know, then we don't know.
Yeah. And then even, I don't know if you guys know, but if we know that a house is haunted, you know that we cannot disclose that to our clients.
No, I didn't know that.
No. So when I went to NOLA, I mean, I'm sure they have different laws, but it almost felt like a joke on some of the houses, because it said haunted or not haunted on the for sale signs.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
I posted it. It's pretty funny, but I feel like it's more because the vibe there is very like that energy. So
yeah.
Well,
Well, some people will actually go out of their way to buy a haunted house.
Yeah.
So
play some Ouija downstairs or something.
You know, it's like it's some stuff that not for me. I mean, I would rather not know. I would rather not. Like, for me, honestly, if I don't know, it's not gonna hurt me. Like, please. So if like I ever buy a haunted house, like, I don't want to know about it.
No, yeah, but like if your client asks, hey, is this house haunted or has anything happened in this home, you have to like redirect them.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I could disclose like the last couple years.
No, unless it's already like disclosed on the MLS. Then yes, by all means.
Who would
But how would you?
though?
But what my thing is, like, how would you know?
Well, let's say it went public. Let's say there was like a big like murder in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Or
But doesn't mean there's
something.
a ghost in there.
True.
Well, like if someone was killed in the house, you would assume their spirit is there.
You think so?
Well,
I don't
I've
know.
seen some lists like Zillow Gone Wild or whatever, and they post like famous houses where there's been like stuff, and you could see on the carpet like a blood stain and stuff. Like, so sometimes you just, I mean, what do you do, right? Like,
Yeah.
who even cleans that shit up?
Yeah. Somebody.
So you have to like tell your clients to like do their due diligence and like look it up themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's already like disclosed and like, well, obviously you cannot disclose like material things. Yeah, but if it's not on there, then legally you can't tell them.
I sold my mom a house, and she asked me after we closed. She's like, "Hey, by the way, is the house that I'm buying that I just bought like haunted?" And I was like, "Honestly, Mom, I don't know." She's like, "You can't look it up," and I was like, I mean, like, how would you know? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I could. So what I thought, I was like, well, you can go on Google, search your address, and put like death, you know, and see if it pulls up.
No.
Doesn't pull up, might be safe. If not, it just maybe wasn't public.
I think maybe it's like Reddit or something, because like the Casey, no, what's his name, the creepy guy that killed a bunch of kids in Illinois, they just John Wayne Gacy, they demolished the house and technically just switched the addresses in the area.
What the heck?
They built over it and stuff. So
That's messed up.
Yeah. How would you really know? I feel like Reddit, like down deep, will have more stuff than Google.
So you heard it, guys. Go to Reddit to find out.
Yeah, check your address on Reddit.
That's crazy.
Alrighty. Well, that was our first wild closing, or not I wouldn't say wild, but that was like our first closing experience, plus our first showing experience. To close it off, Rosalind, I don't know, do you want to say anything?
I don't know, like for what or what. Another segment. We got like a couple minutes. Let's talk. Have you ever had, I've been to some showings and like the tenants are super mad that you're there. Have you ever had that? Like,
I've had tenants where tenants are like, hey, this house, it leaks. There's all this stuff wrong with it. You know, they give me all the stuff. But sometimes you have to be careful, because sometimes they're just saying that because they don't want to move. They don't want the house to sell. You know, and me as an investor, when they give me stuff like that and I'm like, thank you, I'm still going to buy it. Like, you know, I'm like, thank you for telling me, but that's not going to scare me off. Like for me, location, you know, parking, key. Like, I don't care. You can tell, you know, whatever. You can tell me whatever you want. Actually, I've even bought a property with a tenant who wasn't paying rent. I got a really good deal. So if any investors out there, you have to just, you know, high risk, high reward.
So did you end up kicking out the tenant?
I did after COVID. After COVID, because during COVID, you couldn't kick anybody out. I bought it during COVID. And then after COVID, which was like, I think the eviction memorandum thing expired. I think I bought it in July. I kicked them out in February, and I moved in March.
Have you ever had, I was just looking at some in Chicago Heights, and I feel like over there, that area, that's the only area that like rent kind of makes sense for. Like everything else, you won't really cash flow. And so anywho, this one was like fully rented out, but they had like a rental moratorium or something, like a pause in that area.
Really?
Rent. Yeah. So I was like, what do you do then? Like you buy
I wouldn't
it
buy
and
it.
You're stuck.
I wouldn't buy it.
No?
Yeah, not there. Like if it's
but
no, but in that area, the taxes are so high.
I know.
That's another thing. If you see something that's super cheap, I'm always looking at the taxes because something's up.
Yeah. But I feel like that's the only, here you'll find 2s, maybe 3 units, but like the numbers don't really work, right?
Yeah.
So
It works if you live there.
even
Because-
if you,
Because if you live there, because you're living there, right, and you're like not paying, like that's your mortgage, quote unquote. So, and then you have other people helping you with your mortgage. Then it works.
you offset
With
it.
investors who are only like investing, it's kind of like.
Yeah.
Don't worry. If you're an investor out there, well, I said that wrong. Hold on. Investor out there, we will help you. There's something called, we do the 1% rule.
Yeah, correct.
Nayeli? So we take the purchase price and here, help me explain it, Nayeli.
So if I'm looking through a bunch of houses on Zillow and I'm like, oh my God, this looks like a good property, what I do is I look at the purchase price, which for example is $350,000. Then I look at how much I can rent it for. If I can rent it out for $3,500 or more, then it's good. Then I'll look deeper into it. Then I'll schedule a showing and blah blah blah. But if it's less, then no. If I can rent it out for less, then no, it's not worth it for me to even look at it. I'm not gonna bother my agent. Well, me looking at it, I'm not gonna tell my lender about it because it's not. It's for me. It's just not doable. You know.
Yeah.
So you have to just know where to look.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And
You can message us your questions if you have any other questions that you want us to talk about in our next episode. Let us know.
Like, follow, subscribe.
share.
Follow, subscribe, share.
And
All right.
we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.